Hey there. So, some of you asked some wonderful questions, and here are your answers. Hey, go away. Here are your answers. These are facts. Get away. Get away. Facts. Ashley asks, what are chemtrails? Sorry, I meant contrails. Yeah. Contrails. Well, Ashley, contrails are just condensation from planes up in the sky, and that's all there are. That's all they are. You don't need to worry about anything else. It's just it's just condensation. Yeah. Was that right? Is that what I was supposed to say? Okay. Chris asks, why is the sky blue? Okay, now this is a question I get a lot. A lot of people will tell you that the sky is blue because of the reflections of water and the way our eyes see things. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, but I do. The blue that you see up in the sky is actually what I like to call sky water. Now, what is sky water? Well, long ago, back when the Earth was created, there was this powerful wizard. He was in charge of making sure that all of the plants and, like plants, trees, grass, everything that needs water got water. So he'd have to go around making sure that everything got water. Well, after a long time of doing this, he was like, okay, this sucks. I want to do something else. So he figured out a spell that he could trap a bunch of water up in the sky, and it would just stay there until it was needed. So it just stays up in the sky. It's all hanging out up there, and once it senses that it's needed somewhere, it drains into some cotton that he put up there. There's those white things up in the sky you see. People say those are clouds. No, those are cotton pockets. What are cotton pockets? Well, that's a separate question, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Cotton pockets are where all of the water goes, and it gets sucked into those. And as soon as it can't hold any more, poof, all over the earth. So what happens then is that all the plants get all their water. So, unfortunately, a side effect of this is that all of the color in the sky drains out because it's just, that's how magic works. So all of the color drains out and comes down to the earth. And then eventually, over time, as things clear up, the magical water is restored back into the sky so you can see blue again instead of seeing gray. Okay. Dennis asks, can identical twins tell each other apart? Well, to answer this very question, I've brought in, for the first time ever, my very own twin brother. That's right, I have a twin brother. His name is Zan. Yeah, Zan. Yeah, our parents, Dan and Zan. I know, weird, but that's his real name, and he's a real person, and not me. Well, obviously, I'm better looking. I'm the better looking one. Oh yeah? Well, whose idea was it to grow the beard, huh? My idea. Mine. I grew my beard first. He was like, beards. And one day he was like, beards. Okay, but seriously, they want to know, how do we tell each other apart? I'm the better dresser. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Okay. I just don't want to. I don't want to dress up like that every day. That's too much work. I mean, look at you. Well, I guess there's always the tattoo, you know. Oh, true. If we ever forget to tell each other how to tell each other apart, we just look at our tattoo. I am Dan. When phones were invented a while ago, um, they had to use a system of through the wiring. There was actually a tube, and they went through a tube, and then there was an operator who had to connect the tubes to the right tube. That all day long they were just plugging in stuff. Well, as technology progressed, somebody figured out that it would be easier if you just had, if you in your phone was a little tiny mini carrier pigeon kind of thing, like a device. So what these little tiny mini carrier pigeons do is you speak into your phone, and then that those words, that sound goes into a little tiny tube, and then they shoot out from a little hole in your phone. You'll notice your phone has a hole in it. All phones do. Um, but it shoots out through that little hole and shoots off across the world to wherever the person is, and then gets deposited into their phone, and then they hear the message. And then same goes with their phone. It shoots out back into your phone. And these little tiny mini carrier pigeons are just constantly going back and forth all over the place. So that's how cell phones work. Jessica wants to know, what makes glitter stick to everything? Okay, Jessica. Well, in case you didn't know, glitter was actually invented by a man named Frank the Prank Glitter. He's a Frenchman. He was a scientist. Well, one day he was working in his lab, working with some plastics, and he realized there was all these shavings from what he was doing. Well, he wanted to play a little prank on someone because, his nickname was The Prank. So he went over to his buddy's lunch, and he put a little plastic shavings in his lunch. The guy got mad, obviously, and they said, "Okay, Frank, you need to stop these pranks. They're getting out of hand." Well, what Frank ended up doing is he decided, okay, I'm going to step up my game. I'm going to prank him even more. So then he took the plastic and he made it shiny so it would stick out. And one day his colleague was walking by and he pretended to trip, and he threw the plastic shavings all over. Well, he was disappointed that you could see them, but they just fell off the guy really easily. So he started experimenting, trying to figure out how he can make these shiny pieces stick. Because he wanted to really embarrass the guy. He wanted the guy to have to go walk around the rest of the day with these shiny pieces of plastic all over him. So he found out after several hours of testing that for some reason the pieces of plastic were always landing on one side. He figured that's probably because they're heavier. So he developed special adhesive that only reacts once it's come into contact with certain things, and that's why it sticks to certain materials. It's because it just instantly bonds and there's just no getting off. Thad wants to know, how do magnets work? Well, Thad, I'll let you in on a little secret. You know how in science they teach you that magnets work because there's a North Pole and there's a South Pole? Well, what they don't tell you is that the North Pole end is actually where Santa Claus and the elves, that's where they all live. Basically, that's why Santa's able to get everywhere that he's able to get to in the world instantly. He's always got access to magnets anywhere in the world. China, Japan, Germany, Italy, all those places. Anyway, so what happens is he uses his magical power to attract metal and other objects basically. And now you've heard the term polar opposites basically. How you can connect a magnet as long as it's not two ends touching. Well, or the two same ends touching. That's because when a North Pole end tries to meet up with another North Pole end, if they ever actually met up and connected fully, that would bring about the apocalypse. I'm talking zombies, Fallout style. There'd be chaos everywhere. So that's why when you try to bring two magnets together, they kind of start fighting each other because nobody wants the apocalypse, especially Santa Claus. I know what you're thinking. Well, what about the South Pole end? We don't talk about the South Pole end. No, nobody talks about the South Pole end. That's a dangerous topic. That's a dangerous topic.